Welcome back, students. So let's continue our reading. So we're here, right here on the second paragraph of our page. So where it says, important government officials came and went from Kutso carrying out the empire's business. Few commoners ever entered the city unless invited to a special ceremony or gathering. The Karanchara, or Temple of the Sun, dominated Cusco's main plaza and served as the religious center of the empire. Covered with sheets of gold and silver, its walls gleamed. The temple was reserved for priests, the Sampa Inca, his family, and Anchalantas, or chosen women. The Anchalantas lived preparing ritual food, maintaining the sacred fire, and making daily offerings to the gods. Alachinsas wove fine textiles. They made all of the Sampa Inca's clothes as well as the clothes of the nobility. They used nothing but the best wool, the fine, silky white fleece of the Vucinta, a wild relative of the Lama. These chosen women spent their entire lives working for the empire. Sampa Inca Pansante built a fortress in the hills surrounding Cusco. The fortress, called Sasahuman, is one of the most important architectural masterpieces on Earth. Scientists think that it took 20,000 men about 60 years to complete the fortress. Nobody knows its stone construction was possible. They did not use wheels to transport large stones or to lift them into place. The Inca may have used llamas, pack animals native to the Indies, to carry heavy materials. They might have used logs, ropes, and ramps to move massive limestone boulders into place. Stonemasons shaped the many-sided stones with pounding rocks and bronze chisels. The stones fit together like pieces of a jigsaw puzzle. Wedged so tightly together, not even a blade of grass could slide between the stones. These jagged walls had withstood earthquakes for more than 500 years. Okay, let's continue reading. Everyday life in Inca Empire. We're here, boys and girls. Commoners lived in alaya units in the surrounding countryside. Their homes had a few windows and often filled with smoke from central fireplaces. Families lived in one-room rectangular huts made of adobe and thatch and slept on straw mats on cold earthen floors. To make clothing, Inca women and girls wove animal wool into cloth and dyed the cloth with vegetable dyes. Most people's clothing was made from the wool of domesticated llamas and alpacas native to the Indies. The much finer wool of vancas were used to make the clothing of royalty alone. Men and boys wore loincloths and knee-length tunics. Women and girls wrapped their bodies in one large cloth from head to toe. These loose cloths were belted at the waist and pinned at the shoulder. Males and females both wore cloaks and sandals. Clothing was much the same throughout the empire, but different regions wove distinctive patterns into their cloth. Every region had its own style of hats as well. Skilled artisans populated the hills and coastline long before the Inca Empire came to power. They used metal, stone, and clay to make both decorative and useful tools. Noble men and women received beautiful gold jewelry, paid to the empire as part of the commoners' required taxes. Commoners did not always stay in the same place. The government conquered new groups and moved people from existing Alu units to different parts of the empire. These government arranged relocations killed two birds with one stone or served two purposes at once. First, the relocation station workers were where they needed. Perhaps one part of the empire needed masons, and another needed skilled potters or weavers. Second, the relocations made it more difficult for the newly conquered tribes to remain unified. This helped prevent them from rebelling against the government. The government kept tribal rebellions under control. However, a quarrel between two royal brothers nearly brought down the Inca Empire. Brothers, we're going to stop here, boys and girls, and pick back up where it says brothers.